Yesterday, we introduced you to some neighbors living in Prince William County. They've been using bottled water to drink, bathe, and brush their teeth after years of drinking what they say is contaminated well water. They believe nearby Dominion Energy is to blame. Dominion denies the claims. The state agency that oversees water issues investigated and cleared Dominion, but it turns out there's a money trail between the two. WUSA 9's Hillary Lane has been digging into this as part of tonight's Special Assignment Unit report.
Here's what you need to know about this story. Here in Prince William County, on a small peninsula called Possum Point, there are a couple of neighbors here who are really upset. They say their neighbor Dominion Energy is contaminating their well water, and they're worried that after years of drinking this water, they're going to get sick. Here's what they're concerned about. This is coal ash, and according to the EPA, there are some toxic elements in here. Neighbors say in a lawsuit, Dominion is dumping this stuff into the water supply here.
It sure scared the hell out of me.
And over here, we have Dominion, a $40 billion company that infuses millions of dollars into the local economy each year. So, what do they say? They say everything they've done is legal. They point to two different tests, one by the state and one by the county, that found that the drinking water here is safe. Although a third test by a local environmental group found that the water is dangerous.
Dominion is not the kind of company that's going to dump anything that's questionable into any body of water.
So, who's right? The Virginia Department of Environmental Quality, or the DEQ, is supposed to be the referee in all this. They investigated and said that Dominion acted above board. But now the federal agency, the EPA, is investigating. Neighbors say they're not only worried Dominion polluted their water, they're also worried about the relationship between the multi-billion-dollar company and the state agency that's supposed to be protecting them.
I believe big business has now taken over them.
Golf plays a role in all this. I dug through financial statements dating all the way back to 2013. Turns out Dominion paid over $2,300 to take the head referee, the director of the Department of Environmental Quality, to a big sporting event in 2013.
Now for his birdie to get to -5.
The Masters, the Super Bowl of golf. Dominion also footed a $1,200 bill at an Irish pub. This was totally legal at the time, but this relationship between a powerful multi-billion-dollar company and the agency that's supposed to regulate them seems kind of fishy to neighbors. A spokesperson for the DEQ says these types of relationships are routine. So we wanted to see if accepting gifts was routine in other states. We examined documents dating back to 2013. I just received the documents I requested from Maryland and North Carolina's Ethics Commission. Going to go through them and see what we find. We're looking for gifts. Looking at Maryland to the north and North Carolina to the south. These are from the North Carolina State Ethics Commission. In Maryland, the head of the state's environmental agency did not accept a gift from an oil and gas company. The value of the gift, none. That's according to financial statements, and it's the same story in North Carolina.
And turn right on East Franklin Street.
We're going on a bit of a road trip, 2 hours to Richmond, Virginia, to the Department of Environmental Quality. That's where David Paylor works. I've been trying really hard to get in touch with him for this story. I called him on the phone. He isn't doing any interviews at all. I tried emailing him. I was told again that he would not meet with me for an interview about this story. So we're gonna try one last thing. All right, so here it is right on the corner. Let's just see if we can find a parking spot. This is David Paylor. As head of the DEQ, he makes $183,000 a year, paid for by taxpayers. And his job is to make sure the water is clean and safe for residents. So we wanted to bring the taxpayers' concerns right to him. Okay, so I just went into the Department of Environmental Quality here. I asked to speak with Mr. Paylor. They told me he wasn't available, but they told me that his PR representative will talk to us. He should be out in just a minute, and we're gonna ask him all of our questions. So my first question is, where is Mr. Paylor? I've called him, I've emailed him, I've been trying to talk to him. Why won't he speak to us?
I don't know exactly where he is.
Mr. Paylor is a public official. He has a responsibility to the public.
There are days and days and days when he's not here. He's across the state doing other business.
According to Mr. Paylor's financial disclosure forms from 2013, Dominion paid over $2,000 for him to go to the Masters. Why would he accept that trip if he's the oversight for that big company?
I can only speak for him in a limited way.
Well, I wish he was here to answer these questions, but he keeps dodging us.
It was just a routine business trip that sometimes comes up with permit holders.
Financial statements are public record, so I just received all of David Paylor's. We wanted to verify the claim that these types of gifts are routine.
But turns out Dominion is the only large company Paylor has accepted a gift from over the past 5 years. Again, this was all legal at the time, but 2 years later, it would become illegal for any officials to accept a gift over $100. We asked Dominion spokesperson Chuck Penn about this.
Through financial disclosure statements, we know that Dominion took the head of the Department of Environmental Quality to the Masters. This is a $2,000 trip, $1,200 at the Irish bar. What was the point of that?
You're starting to get into the sensational here now, Hillary. Don't you think so?
But it's not sensational because the Department of Environmental Quality oversees Dominion. So that's an important relationship there.
Well, then what I would say to you is that you should pose that question to the Department of Environmental.
I agree. So I also have a responsibility to ask you, why do that? Why take him?
I can't answer for that, but I think that to suggest that a representative from a regulatory agency, oversight agency like that can be bought for the price of a ticket to a sporting event, I think is a real stretch and beyond the pale. That's what I think.
This isn't any regulatory agency. This is the regulatory agency that specifically oversees what's done at Dominion.
Well, the question suggests that they can be somehow co-opted or coerced by that.
What do you think? What's Dominion's stance?
We're not going there. I'm simply not going to go there. We're not going there.
After this interview, Penn sent us a statement that reads in part, "With the benefit of hindsight, we can understand the perception it potentially creates."
If nothing else comes out of this, we can say we fought a hard fight.
For more than just ourselves.
The ethics law in 2015 making it illegal for public officials to accept gifts over $100 was passed after former Virginia Governor Robert McDonnell was found guilty of corruption. That conviction was later overturned by the Supreme Court. Dominion says that same year they made a new rule prohibiting any gifts of any amount for any public officials. Hillary Lane, WUSA 9.
Both Dominion and the DEQ say they are fully cooperating with the EPA's ongoing investigation.